medical myths. There's quite a bunch of them, and there's quite a bunch of interesting ones, and this is what we're going to go through today in form of a presentation, or actually as a keynote. But yeah, there's going to be more after the intro. As always, as every day, because it is amazing. And yeah, with that being said, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And I'm really looking forward to this episode. I've actually been preparing this episode like 2 days ago or something, and because it's a pretty cool one, and I might be doing more of these. You know, there might be more myths or more kind of like common misconceptions, I would also say. But yeah, before I even go through the episode, there's 3 things that I'm willing to talk about. The first thing is, if you're willing to listen to this, if you're on a YouTube video, and if you're willing to watch it, if you are on the podcast, then please go down into the description. Both these links to the podcast and also to the YouTube video are down in the description. The second thing is notes. These things that I've been showing you, or that I'm going to show you afterwards, are from I think it's an article. I think it's only one article, and this article is summarized down in the description. So everything that I'm going to show you, everything that I'm going to read today is going to be down in the description in form of a PDF. You can download it and print it, and everything is for free, and everything is safe, so there's no virus bullshit, because it is on Google fucking Drive, which is checking everything, and so on and so on and so on. The third thing is the music. If you're willing to have some background music, then please check out the third link, or actually the fourth link. But yeah, let's move through it. So as you can see on the left side, it's actually fine. It really is fine. And I'm glad that it is fine. So as you can see, there we are having the keynote, and we're talking about medicine myths. So yeah, the first myth is people should drink at least 8 glasses of water a day. I've been actually just talking about this in a separate episode, which is called the water myth, as far as I remember. It might be linked in the description. It might be just on the right-hand side if you're in the YouTube video. It might be somewhere else if you're on the podcast. You're probably gonna find it. You know, if you're just searching for a myth or a water myth or something like that, or the 8 glasses myth, I've kind of called it something like that. But yeah, what is it? You know, and why? One origin may be a 1945 recommendations that stated a suitable allowance of water for adults is 2.5 liters daily in most instances. An ordinary standard for diverse person is 1 milliliter for each calorie of food. Most of this quantity is contained in prepared foods. If the last crucial sentence is ignored, the statement could be interpreted as instruction to drink 8 glasses of water a day, which is, by the way, something that a lot of people think you have to do. Because, like, there's misconceptions, there's like a lot of people have been talking about it, and also probably a lot of doctors have also been talking about it and been suggesting it, but the case is, do you really need to drink 8 glasses of water each and every day? This is like a must. Do you really need to do this? Just no matter what you've been eating, no matter whatever. Does this make sense? No, it does not. And it's actually like a short version of the whole thing. So the whole point of this one is that, well, this is fucked up now. Okay, well, yeah, nevertheless. The thing is food. What about food? What about a fucking melon? What about a melon? What about eating a fucking melon each and every single day? If you eat 1 melon, are you gonna be thirsty afterwards? Are you gonna be like, well, I am really thirsty today? You know? Are you really gonna be that? I don't think so. And so why should you then be drinking something if you're not thirsty? Like, we need to drink something if we are thirsty. Like, I've also been hearing things like, okay, if you are thirsty, then it is already too late. Then you've already are dehydrated and whatnot, but I don't think so. So there is some studies, and I've been going through some studies on the other episode that I'm recording on this particular myth. And I really have to say, like, for me, it just makes sense. For me, it just makes sense that our body sends us some signals if it needs something, and not if it doesn't need something. Yeah, you know, so, I mean, like, you can also consume a lot of water by eating something, you know, which is kind of the way I'm doing it. Like, I'm eating quite some things, and I'm not thirsty at all. Never ever. I'm rarely drinking something. Because, you know, I might be eating quite a lot of water in the end, through food, through, most often it's gonna be fruits, and also through other shit. You know, for example, when I'm doing my oats, which I'm doing in here, I'm always having like the exact same. It actually looks just really gross. Like, well, yeah, you know, I'm always doing it in the exact same bucket because I do not want to just, I don't know, I do just not want to have hundreds of fucking, well, it's not a bucket, but let's call it a bucket. I do not want to have hundreds of thousands of buckets laying around everywhere in my fucking room. I do not want to have that. But yeah, let's see. The next myth, it is we use only 10% of our brain. And in the article there was evidence from studies of brain damage, brain imaging, localization of function, and microstructural analysis and metabolic studies show that people use much more than 10% of their brains. Studies of patients with brain injury suggest that damage to almost any area of the brain has specific and lasting effects on mental, vegetative, and behavioral capacities, or also capabilities. Numerous types of brain imaging studies show that no area of the brain is completely silent or inactive. The many functions of the brain are highly localized, with different tasks allocated to different anatomical regions. Detailed probing of the brain has failed to identify the non-functioning 90%. How should you be able to do this? Like, we are able to do this, but how? And also, why shouldn't be the brain using all its fucking power? Kinda. And the thing is, like, I'm hearing it quite every single fucking day. Somehow. Not really, but somehow. And I think it's still something that's quite interesting to like think about. Like, it is a myth, and it's a really, really, really common one, but it has never been right. And I think also the next one is just gonna be one of the most important ones there, besides the whole water thing, which is really important. But I feel like, well, yeah, why are we then having such a big brain? And it's not even about the size, which is something that you might know. But like, why should we then be having it if we are just not using 90% of it? Why? It's only like just... It also, just based on evolution, all these things, it wouldn't make any fucking sense. Because it is just weight. And weight takes calories. Because you have to just drag this fucking weight around. Which needs calories. So, not a good idea. It would not have been a good idea by the body and all those things. Even micro-level localization isolating the response of single neurons reveals no gaps or inactive areas. Metabolic studies tracking differential rates of cellular metabolism within the brain reveal no dormant areas. The next myth is about shaving your hair. Shaving your hair causes it to grow back faster, darken, or coarser. It seems to be the case that it is not doing that, because, which is a misconception, or which is like, a common thing that people might be seeing, and perhaps by people contemplating the quick appearance of stubble on their own body. Which is one thing, because, it's coming back really, really fucking quick. On the other hand, strong scientific evidence disproves these claims. As early as 1928, a clinical trial showed that shaving had no effect on hair growth. More recent studies confirm that shaving doesn't affect the thickness or rate of the hair regrowth. In addition, shaving removes the dead portion of hair, not the living section lying below the skin surface. So it is unlikely to affect the rate or type of growth. Shaved hair lacks the finer taper seen at the ends of unshaved hair, giving an impression of coarseness. Similarly, the new hair has not been lightened by the sun or other chemical exposures, which actually which doesn't sound that of a healthy thing. Chemical exposure, resulting in an appearance that seems darker than existing hair. So there's actually a lot of reasons, and this is by the way the next one, but there's a lot of reasons why it seems to be the case, and that it could be the case, or we think it could be the case, but it is not the case. It is clearly not the case that the hair grows back faster or thicker or whatever if you're just cutting it off. And also, as does this also make sense? Or would this make sense in terms of evolution, in terms of thinking about it? Would this make sense? Would it make sense to grow hair back quicker, stronger, and thicker? Well, yes, I actually do have to admit that somehow it would make sense, because if you're but who the fuck then would actually shave it? Because I'm always thinking about the Stone Age and people not having clothes and actually nothing. Which means, should you then even kind of shave your hair? Of course they had way more hair than we are having, because we're having clothes and we're having all kinds of shit. But the thing is, would you then shave your hair? Because I think wouldn't. Because it is fucking cold. Even though it is warm, it is fucking cold. Especially in the night. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Reading in dim light ruins your eyesight. Which is also a pretty interesting one, because it's probably also something that your parents told you to not do, to not read in dim light. And it might be also some things that you are recognizing on your own, that it is not that of a good thing for your eyes, but it is kind of something different. Suboptimal lighting can create a sensation of having difficulty in focusing. It also decreases the rate of blinking and leads to discomfort from drying. Although it can cause eye strain with multiple temporary negative effects, it is unlikely to cause a permanent change on the function or structure of the eyes. It is unlikely, which doesn't mean that it is not going to be the case. It is unlikely. Yeah. So, still, I would suggest you to do it because, you might have a strain. You might have some temporary negative things, which is, I think, reason enough, I guess, because if it is temporary, if it is permanent, it doesn't matter. It's not a nice thing, and it is maybe also not the smartest thing if you're just having a lot of eye strains, which might lead to some sort of really red eye, which is going to lead to inflammation and all those things. No. My point is no. Just don't do it. Just keep an eye on it. And if you're doing it, if you're not even recognizing it, then it is probably fine as well. I also think that the actually placebo effect there, I think is quite important here, because I mean if you're constantly telling yourself that if you're doing this, then you're gonna feel really, really, really bad, then yeah, you're probably gonna feel really, really, really fucking bad. But yeah. So this is, by the way, the site that I'm having the information from. I do want to show it to you because the link is, by the way, going to be down in the description, also in the PDF. But I think it is often the case that you're just linking something down, and especially if you're not seeing it, which is kind of an abnormality, because I'm normally always showing the thing, but I'm just having a presentation now. So just that you know that this is the website and it looks like this, and if it doesn't look like this, then it might be the wrong one. And all those things are, by the way, also by, yes, Rachel, I don't know, C. Riemann and Aaron E. Carroll. And I think especially Aaron E. Carroll was cited, whatever, in the Wikipedia article as well, as far as I know, in terms of the water myth and whatnot. But in the end, I'm also having a bunch of other things. And I think it's I don't know, if it might be 10 other ones that I found were funny or quite interesting, or some things that I really haven't been thinking about. So the first one is forensic myth. The truth serum. There is no such thing as truth serum. There are, however, a number of ways to get intoxicated and drunk. People are known to speak unguarded, honest truth if they are willing. Well, I didn't really believe that there is a truth serum, and I also don't know who was thinking about that, but apparently it is some kind of a myth. And now you know that it is actually a myth, and not reality. The next one is, the average human ingests 8 spiders a year, which is just not the truth. I think it is actually 2 or something in our lifetime, or 8 in a lifetime. The contagion myths. The 9th one is, eating chocolate and fried goods gives you acne. Which, by the way, I don't know if there's been some explanation, because I might have been adding it as well, but I think there wasn't. So it seems to be the case that it is not the case, but I do actually have to say that I still believe that it is the case, because I stopped eating chocolate and chips and fries and whatever bullshit there is outside there. I've stopped I think 2 years ago or 3 years. I don't know. Actually, if you're starting a new habit, please just write down when you've started it. It is something that's pretty cool to know, and it's pretty maybe important to you to know. So please think about that. Please do that. Please make that. Please. But I've had the experience that it does help, especially when it is about chocolate. At least for me. Maybe, I don't know. I do not want to tell you to do some things that might not be the truth, but for me it helped. So it might help you as well. Men think about sex every 7 seconds. I do not really think that I actually need to just talk about it. The next one is, inner ear, teeth piercings cure migraines. I don't know who the fuck came up with this and who the fuck thinks this is the truth, but why? I can emphasize with the people, yeah, I can. It kind of could make sense, because all the muscles that are running just down here, which are one of the reasons why we're often having headaches, is the muscles that we're having on our head, which are going back down to the neck, and also to the back, but also to the front, and also to the sides, and all those things, also to the jawbone attachment, which is also kind of close to that. Yeah, I can assume, but no. The next one, your heart stops beating whenever you sneeze, which is also one that I didn't know about before, and I know that it's not the truth, so everything is fine, I guess. And this is quite it. And yeah, so thanks very much for listening and or watching, and I hope you have had a pretty good time. So I'm gonna see you the next time, and I wish you the best health, happiness, and all success. And I also hope that you are gonna remind yourself, and you're gonna be remembered. Which basically means you're lazy, which basically means just being a nice person, and then being remembered as a nice person. 3 other questions that I'm having for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 are hopefully gonna show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea. But yeah, I'm hopefully gonna see you the next time. So please maybe subscribe to the podcast and also the YouTube channel, and I'll hopefully gonna see you the next time. So bye. I wish you the best. And see you soon. Hopefully.